Hey, what is going on guys? Welcome back to another PS4 and PS5 Jailbreak news update. We finally have some pretty significant developments to talk about with the PlayStation 5. So it's not just going to be a PS4 update. In fact, actually not a whole lot of updates related to PS4 this time. It's mainly going to be focused on the PS5 because we actually have some tangible developments this time. So firstly, from Lightning Mods, he put out a post recently saying that he has been working hard on the next etaHEN update. So we have confirmation that Lightning Mods is back working on the PlayStation 5 again after all this time, and it looks like he has been working on this for some time because this is a pretty significant update to etaHEN. This is not a small update by any means. So if we play the video that he posted on X, you'll be able to see some of the changes. So when he goes into the debug settings, we have a completely customized debug settings menu that's been renamed to etaHEN Toolbox with the original package installer, of course, from the debug settings. But we also have a few new menu options, classified, plugins, utilities, and services. And you can see that here he installs the Homebrew store. One of the services is the ability to install the Homebrew store directly to the PS5. So that's really handy, makes it much easier. You don't have to manually install the package file for the Homebrew store. And then you can use the Homebrew store itself to download any other Homebrew apps you want, like Itemzflow. And then when he goes back in here, you can see we've also got plugins. So we've got illusions cheats that are added as a plugin, which you can enable or disable to do things like enable developer menus, and of course the 60 FPS and 120 FPS patches from Illusion. And then we also have the elf loader plugin as well, which you can also toggle on and off. So if we take a look a bit further on, we've also got services. So we've got an FTP server, Klog server, PS5 debug, and direct package installer. These are all options that existed in the previous version, but you couldn't really turn them on or off. I think you might have been able to if you went into the hard drive and edited the config file to toggle them on and off, but this is much easier now. You actually have a menu option in the PS5 itself to turn these features on and off, which is pretty handy. And this mimics what etaHEN is doing on the PS4, where it has its own menu option, a custom shell UI, and this is mirroring that same functionality here on the PS5. So very exciting changes there. So that's, I think, pretty much everything he shows on etaHEN so far. But we've also got what looks like an update being worked on for Itemzflow for the PS5 as well, because we got this post from Speed-007, who is currently a tester for Lightning Mods. He's testing out some of these new updates, and we can see that he showcases here the ability to load patches on your PS5. So you can basically apply Illusion's PS5 patches, and it works in pretty much the same way it works on the PS4 with Itemzflow for the PS4, where you can apply your etaHEN patches. In this case, it's the same thing. It's Illusions patches that you can apply here just by activating them on Itemzflow and then launching the game, and it will apply the patches at runtime. So that's for, again, your developer menus, your debug menus, your 60 FPS patches, and so on. You'll be able to run them from within Itemzflow. So again, that's not out at the moment. He says it's still under development, so we'll have to wait and see when that eventually comes out. So next we have a PS5 Offline Account Activator released by John Tornblum. Initially, it was just the source files that were released for this, but now we actually have a Homebrew app that was released by T-Rex777. I believe this was made by John Tornblum, but T-Rex777 was involved to some degree. So he released a Mediafire link that you can download to get the application. So because it's a Homebrew app, it uses John Tornblum's Homebrew loader, which I covered how to install in a previous news update video, which I'll leave down in the video description. So to set up the Offline Account Activator, you want to download the Homebrew app from the Mediafire link, extract it out to your computer, and then from there you just want to FTP to your PS5, go into the data folder and then the Homebrew folder, and copy the Offline Account folder into that location, get that transferred. Then from there, you just want to go on your PS5, load up the exploit host, and then run the PS5 payload elf loader, followed by the webserve payload as well. Get those running. And then from there, on the browser, you can go to 127.0.0.1:8080 to access the Homebrew loader, or you can go into the media section and run the Homebrew loader application if you have that installed. And that will also take you to the same spot. And then you just want to head over to the Offline Account Activator and run it. Once it's up and running, you can press circle to close out of the browser, and it will take you to the Offline Account Activator. So the Offline Activator will list the different accounts that are on your PS5, along with the account ID to go along with them. If the account ID is all zeros, that means the account is a local account and has not yet been activated. So to activate the account, you just want to press X on it, and then it will allow you to enter an account ID. It should enter a random ID in there for you, so you can just click OK, and it will activate it using a random account ID, or you can just type in a real PSN account ID from a profile that you actually have on another retail console, and from there you can get that activated. So the main reason to offline activate your PS5 accounts right now is so that your save files will work between your jailbroken PS5 and of course any other retail consoles that have the same profile on there. So that way you can transfer save files from maybe your jailbroken PS4 to your jailbroken PS5, providing that they're activated with the same account ID, or you can of course create modded save files on your jailbroken PS5 and then transfer those to a retail PS5 or retail PS4 that you have as well. Now, this current version of the Offline Account Activator does not yet enable remote play, and it also does not allow you to transfer save files, at least PS5 save files, I think, to and from a USB drive, which is what you would typically expect from offline activation like it does on PS4. However, there is going to be a new version coming out probably any time now that will enable remote play access and will also allow you to transfer save files, as T-Rex777, aka Jose Gonzalez, has actually showed a brief video showcasing that this has actually been solved. This issue has been solved. There was a user who has actually provided the information to John Tornblum on how to get the activation working properly so that it will enable remote play as well as those other features. So that should be coming anytime now as well, and we'll get full offline account activation. So you can either activate your account in the meantime just now so you can transfer save files, or you can wait until this newer version comes out that will also enable the remote play settings so that you can access remote play on your jailbroken PS5 as well. So beyond that, we also got the release of this Python script from John Tornblum, which is to fetch Sony PlayStation 4 or 5 package updates referenced by a JSON formatted manifest at the given URL. So in English, that basically means that you can download a game update and it will combine them into one package automatically as it's downloading, so you can then install it on the PS5. So I've done a video before about how to install PS4 game updates and PS5 game updates onto your jailbroken PS5, and it pretty much involves going on, Prospero patches or Orbis patches and downloading all of the package parts and then using a separate program to merge them into one file that you can then install with a USB onto your PS5 to get your retail games updated. So that is what that's for. This script basically kind of automates that whole process for you. So all you need to do, go on, say, Prospero patches, find the update that you want. Let's take Elden Ring, for example. So I took a patch for Elden Ring for firmware 4.51, and all you do is copy the SC package, the link to the SC package, and then from there you can run this script by typing in Python, the name of the script, fetch package.py, and then -o for the output location where you're going to save that built package file to. So you just enter a location there. So I just used a test folder on my D drive and give it a package file name. So Elden Ring update or Elden Ring patch.pkg. And then from there, you paste in the URL and then just change the end of the link. So instead of _sc.pkg, you just get rid of that. So it's just .json, and that will take you to the JSON file. And then you just run the script and it will start downloading all of the parts, and it's basically merging it all into one file as it's downloading it. So once it's downloaded, you'll have one package. You just pop it on a USB, install it, and you'll be good to go with your update installed. So that's handy. The only criticism I'd really give of this at the moment is the download speed seemed awfully slow for me, and it tends to be faster when I'm downloading in a download manager like JDownloader. So I'm not sure if I would genuinely use this for really large packages. I don't know if it's a limitation with, Python or some other reason why the transfer rate seems to be quite slow. But again, I don't know. There could have been an issue with my network connection at the time while downloading it. So we'll see. It could be a good option though, because again, it just basically automates everything for you. Okay, so for the next update, it looks like TheFlow is going to be doing another talk, this time at RomHack 2024. This is on the 28th of September, 2024. So he is scheduled here to do a talk about PlayStation 4 remote kernel exploitation. This is very much likely to be the same talk that he delivered at the TyphoonCon conference that we never got to see because it was never uploaded to YouTube. We never got a recording that we could watch of that talk. The good news with RomHack is that their previous conference, RomHack 2023, all of the talks seem to be available in a playlist on YouTube. So it looks like they are uploading their talks to YouTube, which means that once this talk comes out, we should get a full recording of it that we'll be able to watch back. So that is some good news there. Now, obviously, we're not expecting any big revelations with this talk at the end of the day. We know that this is primarily a talk for the PlayStation 4 about the hack that's already been released 2 months ago. So there's not going to be necessarily any huge revelations in this, but we are hoping that perhaps he might at least reference the PS5 in terms of how feasible it is to try and implement this on the PS5. Is it something worth pursuing or not? What are the challenges, etc. So if we get lucky, he might mention that. If he doesn't, then it will still be interesting just to learn about how he came up with this exploit for the PS4. So yeah, anyway, so that's going to be happening towards the end of September. So we probably won't see the recording released till sometime in October of 2024. So next, we've got a few PS4 updates. EchoStretch, who's continuing to update PS4 HEN-vtx, an alternative Homebrew enabler payload that you can use. It's basically an older Homebrew enabler payload that he is updating and maintaining because GoldHEN doesn't support all of the firmwares that are currently jailbreakable with the new pp-pwn exploit. So for those firmwares, of course, that can't run GoldHEN right now, you can use this version of HEN instead to get up and running with the jailbreak. So yeah, definitely a handy feature. And what he's done recently is added syscalls for Apollo compatibility so that the Apollo save tool can work with this version of HEN, whereas previously it would only work with GoldHEN. So that is one of the improvements that's been made there. And the developer of Apollo, Damian Perino, has put out a new test build that targets more firmwares. So it supports all of the 8.x firmwares, 9.x firmwares, 10.50 and 10.7x. So any of those firmware versions will be supported. And he's also noted that it will work with not just GoldHEN, but also EchoStretch's PS4 HEN 2.1.5. So you'll be able to use both of those HEN payloads to work with Apollo if you're using this new test build. So you can go ahead and give that a try if you're wanting to be able to re-sign your save files and you're not able to access GoldHEN, then you can potentially use this new test build. And last but not least, we also have Itemzflow version 1.06 released by Lightning Mods for the PS4 version. This version, I did cover this in my previous news update, but it wasn't quite released at that point. It was just a teaser that was shown. So this version adds experimental fake game support, basically the same feature that is in the PS5 version of Itemzflow, where you can run your PS5 game dumps from the actual dumped game files in a folder instead of from an installable package file. It does say experimental, so it probably has some of those same issues that the PS5 dumps have, where certain games will not launch if they're not in package file form for whatever reason and various errors. But for the games that do work, it can be handy for swapping games between like a USB drive or running it off a network drive like an NFS share and running it off the hard drive. You can kind of swap the game between the different drives quite easily when it's in an extracted form like that by just copying the folder or moving the folder from one drive to another. So that's another handy feature. He's also added firmware info and compatibility details to the retail game updates feature, added the option to have packages installed in the background through the package installer that's built into Itemzflow, and he's also improved the logging system in Itemzflow as well. So those are the updates there. So yeah, those are the main updates right now with the PS4 and PS5 jailbreak. Hope you guys enjoyed this video or found the information useful. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. And once again, I'll hopefully see you guys in the next video.